Ladies and gents, how is everybody doing today? I hope you guys had a great day. We are on to week 9 already. We're coming to you early this week. So we got extra time. So we're going to make the show a little bit longer today. We're going to get into a little bit more detail. Without basketball and baseball running simultaneously, it's more time to get into details about what it is that we're thinking. So we've got a few things to bring up in the beginning. As you've seen the last couple weeks, we've come back out Sunday morning. Just with any updates. Like last week, we weren't going to use Derek Carr anymore because of the weather. So we brought up your boy Marvin Jones, who hit pay dirt twice. So, I mean, that was a good thing. I hope you guys appreciate it. I hope it works for you. If you do, we're going to ask very nicely from the bottom of our hearts. Slide your fingers down there or your thumb or your mouse or whatever it is and click the thumbs up button because we are ready to talk some football with you guys.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk over this slate. I'm excited about this one. I know it's early, so a lot can change, but I'm excited to talk it over with you.
Let's do it, man. I am excited to run through this one as well. And as you can see by the cover, what we're thinking early on, we talk about Drew Lock here in a few minutes. Before we get into the actual picks of the week, though, guys, courtesy of us from you guys, we're going to run some promotions for today and tomorrow. So today and tomorrow, all new customers signing up for these packages get this. If you purchase the NFL package today, Tuesday, or tomorrow, Wednesday, I will send you a reimbursement for $10. You will get it almost right away because I'm a dork who never leaves my computer. I will hook you up right away. If you want to be a new monthly customer, the price is $30. I will send you back $15 to get your first month at only $15. You will get that money virtually right away. And the annual package, which would cover you from today until November 3rd next year, I will send you $50 back today or tomorrow. We are encouraging you all to sign up. Come join the 5-pack. Let's run through all this NFL stuff. We got a lot going on this time of the year for NFL. We've really upped what we're providing to customers as far as the length of the GPP and cash videos, the number of things that we're covering. We are here to help. And obviously, we're able to pay a lot more attention right now. So I feel like our NFL game is tight.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, it sucks like it's the only sport going on right now. But the good thing is that like we can really hone in on it and focus a lot of our attention on it. So in that sense, it's good.
Yeah, exactly. There's two ways to look at it, right? Like, yes, maybe you can't play as many slates, but maybe you can play more aggressively, feel more comfortable with your lineup. I chose to bow out a little bit last week and not play cash very heavy, but it was only because of all the weather situations and not knowing how it was to play out. I just didn't have the comfortable feeling of it.
Amen.
All right. We've told you guys with the NFL package, if you want to pay manually too, the Venmo and PayPal address are below. We've kind of addressed this already. No reason to spend a lot of time on it. And the last promotion that we've discussed is with our partners over here at Overlay Fantasy Sports. If you have been yet to play on this website, I feel like you guys hear me bringing it up constantly. I love the matchup shop. You as a GPP guy, you focus on some bigger parlays. I play a lot of these 1v1s. I was having a blast over the weekend playing like on Sunday. You really got me turned on to Drew Lock. And I played him over Nick Foles, who was in a tough spot with bad weather. And it came down to like the last throw by Drew Lock. I was on the edge of my seat. Last night, I had Gronk -2 over Evan Ingram. Every time I thought that last drive was over and I was going to get my money, Daniel Jones did something to bring it back and make it competitive. I was having a blast, and it was profitable. So like it doubles up each way. If you are yet to play on this website, go sign up. It's overlaydfs.com. If you make any of these types of deposits, screenshot it, send it to me. Let me get you a free 5-pack membership. And let's continue to roll. And let's try to hit some bigger parlays as well.
Yeah, let's get it, man. It's exciting. Excited to break down that slate with you when it comes out later in the week.
All right, guys. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. As we said, let's try to get to 100 thumbs up this week. Let's have some fun. And let's get into who is to you as your top quarterback of the week, price considered, because the price, I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about right here, but the price is pristine at only $5,200 in a dome against the Atlanta defense with those sick dance moves. Give me some Drew Lock.
So, I had him in a lineup last week, and I thought I watched that entire game, and he obviously played a lot better in the second half. So before I even opened this slate, I was thinking, I'm going to like Drew Lock. I hope he's kind of cheap facing Atlanta. And little did I realize it was $5,200. I mean, the upside of this price is real. We've seen Atlanta get cooked by worse QBs. Their defense is weak. They really can't stop anything. Denver feeling really good coming off a big come from behind win against the Chargers. I love Locke. He's got multiple weapons to work with. I don't think you necessarily have to pair him with anyone, which is the beauty of it. However, there are a couple guys, one in particular, who we're going to bring up who we like to pair him with. So I think you can basically play it any way you want. And for my money, my DK money, if you will, he's the best value on the slate.
Like, and just to be clear, guys, we're not silly people. We're not picking Drew Lock to score more points than Patrick Mahomes. He could, but we wouldn't pick that.
Right.
And when you consider the price and what he gives you at your other positions, he's really inexpensive. We got some guys who are like in the $7,000 to $7,500 range. Yeah, they're great plays, but they are a lot more expensive. And you were mentioning what we've seen people do against Atlanta. We've seen quarterbacks get them, tight ends, wide receivers, running backs. We've seen every type of position imaginable get after the Atlanta Falcons because their defense just isn't very good.
They do not discriminate. That's for sure.
It's a good way to put it. I like that. They do not discriminate who they let eat against them.
Exactly.
Pass catching running backs have done great, but hey, when a running back catches the ball out of the backfield, that gives Drew Lock points as well.
Mm-hmm. This is like a confidence boosting game for Lock too. Coming off that great second half, it's just a good spot for him to keep it going.
All right, guys, let's go from. I'm assuming Lock will not be chalk. He'll get a little love because of the price tag. Because of the matchup and stuff like that. But I don't think you're getting him. He's now I don't think he'll be chalk. Dalvin Cook, however, will be for a lot of reasons. One, the running back position this week is one of the weaker slates of running back as it stands right now in Tuesday that I can remember in a while. Like, we talked through this for a while on the members only videos and our first thoughts thing. I didn't have a lot of running backs I liked. The one that sticks out like a sore thumb is Dalvin Cook. You've made the argument the last couple of weeks that he might be the best running back in football. And while I can't just flat out agree with that statement, I cannot logically argue against it either. The only thing I can do is say, well, Derrick Henry's good, McCaffrey's good. But you cannot logically argument against the fact that Dalvin Cook, when he's out there, looks like he could be the best running back in football. That offensive line for Minnesota cannot be understated either. They are moving people around and creating massive holes right now. I know the Lions had been a little bit better against running backs after the bye. They were not great the other day against the Colts team. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor was not good, but I don't think he's very good. So there's a lot to like right here. The only thing not to like about Dalvin Cook is going to be the high ownership if you're trying to play GPPs. So we kind of bounce this around on the members only video. Early in the week, before anything changes with guys sitting and being out, I think Cook could be the 75-80% in cash game as of right now.
Yeah, it looks like it's a really strong play. We don't really love many other running backs. And, man, as far as him being the best running back in the league, I think the argument's real. I agree with you. You can't definitively say it, but a lot of these other big-time backs have been hurt. A guy like Zeke hasn't played, but when you think about McCaffrey, Saquon, Chubb has been out. Hell, even Aaron Jones has been out the last couple of games, who had been right up there. I mean, it's hard to name anyone except for Cook and Derrick Henry right now. But again, McCaffrey's been hurt, and that is being prisoner of the moment. That being said, as far as Detroit goes, I'm with you. I'm not going out of my way every week to pick running backs against the Lions, but I'm certainly not scared off by the Lions at all. There are many, many defenses I, would rather not face Lions here. I think it's just a fine spot at home for a Vikings team that's coming off a big win on the road. I think Cook is just a rock solid play here. I do think that you could get, different with it and play the passing game in tournaments. I think you could play that with Cook, without Cook. I think it's almost like many other slates. The thing that makes it interesting is, just because there aren't many running back plays that stand out to us, doesn't mean there won't be ones that play well, It's
also Tuesday. I was joking around kind of, but the idea that Phillip Lindsay or Melvin Gordon gets a little banged up during the week and can't play, it's not impossible, right? If Phillip Lindsay was out, I'm not a big Melvin Gordon guy, but I would be locking in Melvin Gordon against this team instantly against the Falcons, right? But that's not the situation we have at hand. We just know that things have a tendency to change throughout the week when it comes to the NFL.
For sure.
So you as only a tournament player, what would be your first thought on Dalvin Cook right now, depending on how many lineups you were playing?
Well, I like him. Let's say I was playing one lineup and I were playing lock, he'd be in there.
Yeah, because you can easily afford them then with those pay down options. There's plenty of pay down options at wide receiver as well. So it's a tough guy not to look at this week.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's move on down the list. So I don't know what kind of love Tyler Lockett's going to get this week, and I'm hoping it's low because this is a pick that I like a lot. And I'll be honest, guys, this is how DFS works, right? Your confidence levels will go up and down. I'm feeling emboldened right now because I said Lockett was the play over Metcalf 2 weeks ago, and I said Metcalf over Lockett last week. So I'm feeling confident. I wasn't going to go back to these guys this week, but then I looked at who they were playing, and they're playing against Buffalo, who to me screams Tyler Lockett week. Why? Because Tre'Davious White, assuming he's all healthy, ready to go in this game, is a very good corner. And I don't think he can shut down Metcalf, but he can most certainly make life harder on him. Buffalo has been really bad against slot wide receivers, and that's where Tyler Lockett runs the majority of his patterns. He's also a very good wide receiver. Just missed on a long touchdown against last week. He's got a very good quarterback in Russell Wilson. So one of the problems, let's just call it like it is. We were wrong about George Kittle last week, but I don't think it was George Kittle's fault. Jimmy Garoppolo just kind of sucks.
Exactly.
Russell Wilson does not suck. He is good. So you feel better about using a guy like Lockett in that situation. So I like this one quite a bit, but I would encourage everybody double check the weather in Buffalo. It is November now.
Yeah, I mean, you have to really suck to make Kittle look that bad. I'm with you. Yeah, Jimmy G. Oh, that sucks. But yeah, I'm with you, man. We've talked about slots against Baltimore all year, and it does seem very, very logical to just ride with Lockett here. You don't want to just keep it as simple as like the zigzag theory, but it's worked recently, and there's actual, reason for it here. I like Lockett a lot at a very affordable 6,800 price point, especially when we've seen guys like Keenan Allen, et cetera, be priced up now.
Yeah, that's a big thing too, and it's something I've encouraged. I was talking to my very first ever DFS customer the other day, Andy Smith. Shout out to you, bud. And what we were talking about is and I remember this, like when I first started talking DFS online and stuff like that, I'm like, have a reason why you like somebody. You might be wrong, but at least be able to explain yourself to why you like them, and then maybe even just saying it out loud to yourself will give you a reason. And having a reason to like Tyler Lockett is why I'm there this week, because I really did not want to go back to the Seattle Seahawks wide receivers, knowing that I feel like I just tempted fate the last 2 weeks and got lucky. Well, this one has a reason for us, and it kind of plays out that way, but I want to go back to the weather thing, guys. Buffalo in November can be really crappy, and we're just coming off of a week with a bunch of bad weather games. Really, really make sure that this is a place that you want to go in a passing game.
Yeah, truth. We'll just have to kind of stay tuned on it and keep your nose to the ground on it.
I can't imagine that anything that we see will be as bad as it was last week with trying to, be meteorologists at the same time.
I think it's keep your ear to the ground, but I said nose. I'm not sure.
Keep your nose to the ground. I think they both work.
All right, cool.
All right, so right back to your Denver guys this week. We're going to talk about Noah Fant. So one, he looks healthy again this week, or last week, which is big, right? You want a guy who looks healthy. Something else. Oh, I'm missing the W right here. But I get a feeling, don't you think like the optimizers who make a lot of people's decisions for him these days are going to pound Mark Andrews and Hawkinson?
Yeah, Andrews specifically, no doubt about it. I talked about Fant a little bit when we talked about Locke, and man, he is definitely Drew Lock's favorite weapon. He's got wideouts on the outside that are good, but Fant is the guy that he locks into. He's his safety valve, check down option, whatever you want to call it. Didn't have much yardage last week, but still caught 7 balls.
10 targets.
Yeah, exactly. 10 targets. The big game's coming. This is a great spot for him. I like everything about Fant, and not the least thing being his $4,600 price tag, which is very affordable.
For me, targets is like the biggest thing I look at when I'm trying to figure out who I want to take in a passing game. Noah Fant's got 5 targets or more in every single game this year. That's big for me. Even on his quote unquote off games, he's at least had 5 targets. You can make things work on 5 targets, but even more encouraging is like the 10 that he had last week. And he gets a great matchup with Atlanta. I think the price tag is more than fair. He's pretty good, which is something that you can never really skip on. And again, we mentioned Drew Lock already. You can pair him with him. You can run him solo. You can run the Lock solo. Do whatever you want to do right here. But I like the idea of using him because I do think the optimizers are going to take a look at Mark Andrews a few dollars more and just use him.
Agreed. I mean, I like Andrews too, but especially because I like Lock so much, Fant's my guy, at least as of Tuesday.
And never underestimate this time of the year, guys. Take a look at those dome games.
Yep.
Yes, you can succeed. Like, look at Devonta Adams last week. He ended up with a great fantasy day, right? Because he scored all 3 of the touchdowns for the Green Bay Packers. But he wasn't overly effective in that outdoor swirling wind weather in Green Bay, right? Like, he wasn't great. He just happened to hit pay dirt 3 times. That's not overly replicable. But guys in domes, these are the games that can blow up and be 40 to 35.
Truth.
All right, last up, we haven't done a lot of touching on defenses this week, so we wanted to hit up the Cardinals defense right here. So everybody knows it, right? The Steelers defense is in a great spot this week, but it is all tough pill to swallow to play a defense at almost 5K. I think that's the most expensive defense I can ever remember seeing on a main slate. How about you?
I mean, you basically need a touchdown. Yeah, I can't remember a defense being over 5K.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, a touchdown or like a shutout and 6 sacks and 4 picks. Like, that can happen, but it's not likely. So if you're looking to go down from them, which I'm assuming most of you guys were, we're looking at the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals defense is not elite, but they do have playmakers, and they've been playing better as the season progresses, in my opinion. Budda Baker is looking like a defensive player of the year type of candidate. I think he's widely called the best safety in football by a lot of people now. They're under 3K. And this is all about what you saw from Tua last week. And granted, it was a weird game script for him, but what you did see wasn't great.
Yeah, wasn't very impressed with Tua. Seemed like it was going a little fast for him. And I think the Cardinals are just in a good spot. D, as you mentioned, continues to play better. Gotta love the week off. And how I look at the Steelers, because I'm with you, like all things being equal, if you had to pick one D, like no price considered, yeah, you're gonna pick Pittsburgh here because Dallas sucks. Pittsburgh's really good. You know, you've got one of the worst offenses, a turnover prone. I wouldn't say one of the worst offenses, but an offense that can certainly turn it over. And with DiNucci, one of the worst offenses against Pittsburgh. However, when you break it down kind of like this, you know, the Cardinals are only 2,900, or take any D around there. And it's not crazy to think, especially if the Cardinals score a defensive touchdown, that they outscore Pittsburgh here. If they don't score a defensive touchdown, if you look at like actual players that are 4,900 and actual players that are 2,900, it's hard to make a case for many of those 2,900 guys outscoring the 5K guys, you know?
Yeah, well, those tight ends at 2,800 are usually pretty crappy, so I would side with you on that one 100%. So we like the Cardinals, and I was listening to something pretty interesting on Tua Saturday or Sunday morning. I can't remember what it was, but it was breaking down just his lack of path to success in the NFL, ultimately dealing with his height and the fact that he's not as mobile as the other short quarterbacks that we've seen, i.e. Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray, who are killing it right now in the NFL. But Tua doesn't have their mobility, but he's stuck with that shorter height and how difficult it can be. And really the only guy with like his frame and like abilities, like the path to success is like Drew Brees. And that's why that's the model that he often gets. That's a tough path to follow. So it made me more enticed as we discussed this one. I was kind of thinking about that. Like, I'm starting to really dig on the Cardinals defense more and more since you brought them out to me this morning. And I think that is, I don't know how popular they're going to be, but this is a team with a week off to prep for him. And now they've seen like 1 week of his game log film in the NFL. It's going to be a bad spot for him.
Yeah, I like Arizona's D a lot here. And that did not hurt your cause at all, or hurt the cause at all, excuse me.
Yeah. And plus, like, Budda Baker is just a fun name to say. So if you get to root for him all Sunday, nothing wrong with that.
Amen.
So anything else to throw in for the people, Mr. Bellman?
No, man, that's all I got. I'm kind of excited we're making these videos, you know, first at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week, so we can kind of get our final thoughts out there too, because stuff changes, but we know we also want to get stuff out at the beginning of the week.
Yeah, like, I mean, for example, just talking about the Cardinals defense, if all of a sudden Ryan Fitzpatrick was starting again, like, I just wouldn't be nearly as interested. I'm not saying they'd be out of play, but it wouldn't be a team that would be like at the top of my list. If all of a sudden Noah Fant and Jerry Jeudy go down with COVID, I'm not as interested in Drew Lock, and that's why we like to come back on Sunday, you know, for example, and kind of talk these things through again. So we've got extra time now too.
I think I definitely agree with you. Like, if Fitzpatrick's starting, I'm not really on Arizona's D. I don't hate them, but there's many other D. Not many. There will be other Ds I prefer.
Right, for sure. And again, that is not something that we expect. We don't expect them to get 2 a week, but like crazy things happen, right? Like, obviously you guys know the environment we live in right now where, you know, teams losing COVID. Like, I know the Packers A.J. Dillon had it. And now I think Jamal Williams might have it or not be able to get through protocol. If all of a sudden like Aaron Rodgers has it, like weird stuff happens in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
It is the nature of it beast, and it's probably going to be a wild night for a bunch of you guys tonight as well.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Yes, it will.
And also, just we're not here to talk politics. Just warning everybody right now. There's a really good chance you have no clarity at the end of the night, so just be prepared for that.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, that's both sides, guys. I don't care where you're rooting for. The odds are you're good chance you're not going to know at the end of the night tonight.
Truth.
So, all right, y'all. Have a great day. If you can, click that thumbs up button. We want to get to 100 this week. Thank you for watching, and go buy yourself a membership because we'd love to have you as a customer.
Yeah, let's get to at least 100. Thanks, guys.